A very good morning to you. This cold Tuesday morning, it's so cold, guys. Yesterday was a scam, but today it's so cold. My name is Ann Cutie, as they call me. And today we are just about to dissect. We are about to dissect those relationships and marriages. Leo niko na ubaya na Ken hapa kwanza. Ken asije. Leo niko na ubaya na nini, but wacha tuanze. Ukoje Ken? We missed you last week.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Oh. You should have texted back and...
Akipole, unajua ukiwa hapa mambo inakuwaga mingi, but nilikuona na tukakusalimia after the show. Ni kama hukukua nini after the show. Ulikuwa?
I think nilikuwa nishatoka juu nilikuwa naenda job. But yeah, I also missed.
So
but
it was kama
because uko sio lazima niongee sana. You just tell people, you know, the organization I work for, we take out some time every month to learn sign language, so we can be able to converse and just bits and pieces sign language. So kama sina sauti, mtu akisema kitu nitashikanisha.
Unaweza communicate.
But Cutie, kuna kitu mimi nilijiambia, to thanks God we never discuss. We never discuss matters football here because I don't know what you can only have one point. Unaweza kuwa tu na point moja, but
Budani umekuja na unaanza tu mambo mingi.
Pole.
Sikwe mpole kazi. But good to have you back, Ken.
Thank you.
Roberta, good to see you.
Na vile leo kuna furaha huku. Umeona? Good to see you too. I'm always happy on Tuesday mornings. Hope you guys are good.
Tuko fiti kabisa.
Yeah, I feel good.
Good to see you. CJ?
How are you doing?
I'm not doing good, but yeah, I'll survive. Don't worry, I'll survive.
I know. I know.
CJ anajua mbona ananiambia hivyo, but the background ndio inanibamba. Hii background mwenye alichagua iko spot on, tuko on kabisa. But guys, today again tundaanza na wewe relationships.
Karibisha mgeni.
Acha nikaribishe mgeni, because now this thing about happy marriages, happy relationships. Nyi wase mko happy huku nje, ebu out of ama mna to enjoy out of your 5 friends. Last week nilianza nikauliza Bobby that question. I asked her, just out of your 5 friends, hata sikuenda 10, 5 ama 3 friends, wangapi wako really happy? Wewe unawajua, they open up to you, they talk to you. Wangapi wako happy? Na leo nimechallenge Ken asubuhi. Nikamwambia people are doing badly out here. Lakini Ken ananiambia Cutie, kuna happy relationships, kuna happy marriages. Ken, mko happy ama mnatuchocha manze?
Ukiniona una.
Mimi sijui. Mimi unajua mimi sasa, mimi si best yako hivyo, hatuko close hivyo. So siwezi jua. Maybe ningekuwa best ya Shiro, ningekujibu hiyo swali. Unajua at the end of the day, utatuambia uko happy, but Shiro ndo anaweza tuambia hapo maneno vile iko. But honestly, on a very serious note, are guys really happy out there? Ama ni kufake, tuna fake? Because kuna relationships, kuna marriages, watu wamekaa. Is it that people are just saving face? People are staying to save face? Ama people are really happy, Ken?
Okay. Happy wife, happy life. I would genuinely say that happiness is not something you can get from your partner. Happiness, especially in relationship, is innate before it goes out. It's supposed to be covert or overt before it comes to covert. That if you're not happy with yourself, you can never be happy in a relationship. Happiness is equally also contagious. You stay with happy people, you will be happy. You have friends. Si umeniambia mabeshte wako, they are not in a happy relationship.
Watu wana struggle luku nje buda.
So si hata wewe utajiambia relationship.
Unanisetia ona buda.
Oh, sorry. Si mabeshte wa Cutie, wale watu Cutie anajua. Yeah, Cutie. Relationships are supposed to come and complement you, but not complete you. The moment you choose to get into a relationship is because you have chosen that path, and you have chosen that your happiness will not be dependent on the mood of the other person. Human beings are moody people. At one point, somebody will wake up, they are moody, they are not happy. Other times, they are joyful out there. So if I choose that my happiness will be because of my partner's mood, then I have the wrong attitude towards relationships and marriages. All I would say is I know, I have experienced, I've been married for quite a long time. You know, 10 plus. With a 12-year-old, and we didn't get married because of her. 15 years later, I would say, I am happy.
You're doing good.
There are instances where there are circumstances that lead you to be unhappy, but you need to sort them faster so that you can go back and become happy. But if you overstay in a sad state, that state can last longer. And I have consistently told you, in a country like ours where people are sad and angry about anything and everything, you know, we are angry.
Yeah, we
Kwanza saa hii, by the way.
Unasalimia mtu anakasirika.
Saa hii, unajua rent na school fees zimeshikana. Ukiona mtu akilia kwa jamu, we tu mruhusu tu, because you don't know what's going through the mind of that person. With a country or a situation where sadness comes just like that, you cannot also choose to get into a relationship where you'll be sad. So happiness to me is a choice, and that choice you must make it daily. It's like bathing. You must renew it daily, and you have a reason to be happy. For 10 reasons, if 9 of them make you unhappy, choose the one and focus with the one that is making you happy, and just say, I have a happy life. You know, when I get to work and sometimes I'm not that happy, I choose to listen to the song by Pharrell, Because I'm Happy. And I will sing and dance in my office. Sometimes I think my colleagues now have understood me. If they find me snapping and just walking and dancing, I'm just trying to psych myself. So even if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, choose happiness, because it will be contagious to the person that you're in a relationship with. Yeah.
Now, coming to you, Roberta, unajua nafeel ni kama Ken amenichenga tu kidogo kwa sababu the reason why nasema hivyo, I get it about you being happy and then sasa unakuja mnakuwa happy na mse. But at some point I feel like tunaona hizi vitu zote, tunaona socials, watu wako happy, unaona mse amebaiwa kigari, mse amebaiwa kinyumba, atujui inakuanga ni apology ama inakuanga ya kupanguza kitu yenye huyu mtu alikuwa amedo. So even on the socials and in real life, people are really breaking up and you're like, unataka kuniambia watu wame break up? Really? I say I thought they were happy, I thought they were okay. Are people really happy? Roberta, do you really believe that watu wako tu sawa? Yani kuna tu wale watu tu wametulia, wako tu sawa na wako happy and they're not faking it and they're not pretending. Yani kabisa kabisa watu wako happy, Roberta.
Yes. Kwani mimi si niko
kwa relationship simanishi weka Bobby unakuanga tu sawa, lakini kwa relationship yani
I truly do believe that there's so many happy couples in existence. People are actually happy. Hata hizo magari tunapost tumebaiwa, ni za happiness. Si ati zote ni za apology ama zote ni smitwaje brand deals tunajilipia on the side tukidanganya my husband bought for me. Tunapendwa ya ukweli kwingi.
Kumbe unajua zina exist hizo vitu, hizo stands.
I keep saying here, every time someone in the media, someone who's popular online is posting something, take it with a grain of salt, because it reaches a point where they post to earn money. So anything that is being posted, we ukiona uone, Ken amebaiya Bobby. Maybe hata Ken amepita tu pale kwa mlango akaambiwa, pea Roberta kwa screen ikae. Na atanipea tu na hivyo ndo imeisha. So I truly believe happy people exist, and I like what Ken ameanza venye hiyo pipeline ametupeleka kwa sababu until you can hang around such people, you might think these people are a unicorn, like they don't exist, or easy stories na kwanga true stories are jaba. But honestly, happy couples exist. And last week you challenged me to mention couples that I know that are happy. It's just that I can't say their names. But honestly, I'm around very happy people. In fact, mi ndo nakwanga ni tadwila mafifila kwa hizo crew tukihang out. But it's so easy for the energy to transfer, because something I'm learning hanging around such people is that happiness is very, very real. Happy relationship. Yani hata hakuna issues. In fact, as a friend, I feel like I'm the one who's projecting some of my insecurities subconsciously and unknowingly, because they keep teaching me better, reinforcing that it's okay for you to love without fear. So I truly, truly believe happy relationships exist. And these relationships are work. Last week, we talked about how these relationships can be very boring, they're very peaceful. Even the conflict is boring. Like, ata conflict aina drama, ni tu, nilikosea, okay, sawa, neta fanyaje, okay, poa, na imeisha, hakuna ati drama, ikienda sana ni, mnasikizana still at the end of the day. And I think it's really, really important that we talk more about them, because clearly online, people are showing what they want you to see. And this is coming from a point even of the people who are scorned. People are angry, that's when they're posting. People are heartbroken, that's when they're posting the most. The people who are happy, they don't have time. It's like people who are rich. They're not trying to prove to you, hey, I'm very, very rich. I have everything. Ukizoea kitu nika private jet. Ukipanda mara ya kwanza inakushtua. Ukipanda mara ya 6, 7, this is now normal life. You don't need to show anyone anything. And it's not until they put thought into hiding their happy lives. They're just actively living. They're living, they're happy, they're very present in their relationships. And Mimi, on a very personal level, I'd urge, kama wewe ni mtu unataka a very emotionally available, secure, honest, open, beautiful relationship or marriage, it's time you start relating with people who are in such situations. Achana nao watu naysayers wenye wanakuanga waoga, wako avoidant. Sasa nikimpenda, nikimtext, reply. Love haina hata hizo. Love ni kutext mara 7 na hata kaja reply bado una feel love kwa chest. Ni ngumu, lakini you have to be secure.
Unasema ni text mara 7?
Yes, kwa nini?
Reply?
Mimi si unanitextingi mara 7. Okay. Difference na mtu mwenye unapenda ni nini?
Ni sawa. Bobby wewe nakuelewa. It's okay, unaweza kuwa umelala, unaweza kuwa uko na hani. Bobby mara 7.
I always say hizo standards tunekanga kwa platonic relationships. Tunafaa tukuje tuzitransfer kwa romantic, because you're putting this love of yours on a pedestal. You're treating them like they're supposed to owe you all their time and their life and their... But when it comes to friendships, you're a bit more graceful, you're kinder, you're more understanding. If Bobby doesn't text me back, it's fine. Unaona hata ushanipea excuse.
Mimi nakuaga
ati she was sleeping.
Mimi nakuaga nimekusamehea.
Maybe I saw your message and I just decided, dem simuongeleshi saenda muongelesha kesho. How come when it comes to romantic relationships, we're much angrier and why didn't you text me? By the way, siati nakutetesha wewe directly. Najiambia pia mimi juu I've been called out on doing the same things, you know, being a bit unkind, even in passing my message across when I'm annoyed. When it comes to QT, nikijam na yeye natafuta sweet words, naambia unajua QT, babe, darling, I did. But when it's my man, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I don't like this, I don't like this. So we have to make sure that we're maintaining the same kindness and grace. And the only way for you to learn is to, first of all, throw yourself into that relationship. Huwezi cheza game kwa bench. Huwezi learn the game when you're
ukiwa sub, lazima uingie kwa pitch.
Yes, lazima uingie. And then ukishaingia, una make sure enyewe unajisurround na watu wako happy. Watu wako happy individually even before they come together, because I'm learning a lot. Maybe as the program goes, I'll talk about the things I've been learning around people in very healthy relationships. But I find the communication so seamless and easy, and the trust is so available, and everything is just easy. It's like having a friend. So yes, these relationships exist. They exist platonically, they exist romantically, and watu wanaenjoy huku nje.
Unaanga tu social media tu akitwekea #marriageworks, #tuko vizuri, sawa tu. But CJ, coming to you, I remember, was it last week, but when you talked about healthy conflicts, right? You were talking about healthy conflicts and you're like, but that is not what I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about healthy conflicts. Sawa, hizo zinakuanga. Of course, lazima mbishane na mtu kidogo, hapa kule, this and that. But I'm really talking about the people that stay in relationships, maybe just to save face. You ask yourself, do I really need to leave this relationship? Some people stay because of the kids. Some stay because of the investments wameweka pale. Unajiambia, mimi nimeweka do, nimeweka physical, nimeweka emotional, I've put everything in this relationship. So leaving, hata nenda wapi, niko na watu 3, hata nani, who will want me, who will want to marry me? So do you really believe that everyone that is staying in the relationship, they're really happy, or there are those that just say, let me just save face for this, you know?
I think asking whether people are staying in relationships because they are happy is to set a destination that you have no control over. I was thinking about this yesterday and thought, the thought about that marriage works. Marriage is actually work, or relationships are work. So when you come into it with the construction worker. Come in as a construction worker. 2 builders who come together with one drawing. that they keep on constructing. So when Ken is talking about 15 years, you're talking about different floors that you keep on building and raising. So the foundation that you laid will determine how many floors this thing will be able to go to. So some people will quit at 3, some people will quit at 5, because the foundations that they laid, the communication, the conflict resolution, their complicity around each other, the convergence of thoughts, ideas, values, vision, and all of that could only take them that far. But I think every relationship and marriage is happy at a certain stage. Probably the beginning, probably in the middle. They're happy at some stage. Then they get into certain stages where there's a certain demand and investment that is required. So I'm not very sure, QT, whether, first of all, I should talk about the happy or the healthy. I think for me, healthy is more realistic than happy. Ken talked about the overt to the covert. It could be that this person is actually dealing with things that are not related to the marriage, that are making them not happy. It could be their own dreams, their own career. It could be loss of loved ones and stuff that are not even related to the marriage, that make them unhappy at that particular point. So I think happiness is a high goal. I think health should be the goal. Like, do we have healthy relationships? And when you talk about healthy relationships, then you don't need to fake it. You just need to get the proper flow. So whether people are staying in because they are happy or not, I think the overemphasis on happiness has also made people walk out of relationships that they could have stayed in just because a certain face did not have that happiness. Maybe there is a change, you know, they're going through financial changes, they have to re-navigate their goals. Maybe the children have brought up their different parenting styles. You get to a certain stage, the kids are teens. This one believes in this way of raising kids, the other one believes in another way, so they begin to have conflict around their parenting styles. And then somebody just feels, I'm not happy, we never agree. Yet this is a stage that you can go through. It's the loss of a job, it's the loss of money, it's somebody loses a loved one in their family, you know, the loss of a mother or a father or a sibling puts this person in a certain space where they have to now begin to deal with emotions they didn't know that they had. They may begin to push you off and you get upset that they're no longer here. I've seen couples that broke up because somebody had a funeral. And the attendant emotions to that, they either became withdrawn, they were angry, they became quiet, or they just became wild, you know, just wanting to go away from any space that reminds them about their grief. So they'll be grieving for long. Some people will grieve for 5 years, for 7 years. All these things may put a dent on what we call happiness. But then the intentionality, that's what I call health. The intentionality about it, that knowing, okay, QT has gone through this. When we started, this is how we were. Now she's dealt with this things that have come into her life that have kind of changed her. Do I want to give up because of that? Or am I going to try and stay and work it out? The thing about jumping out a lot, and people say, you know, don't stay because of the kids. I know Ken is a protagonist around that, so don't stay because of the kids. I've asked several couples, and I was having a conversation with 2 or 3 of them in the last 2 weeks. And sometimes I see this, it's very easy for people to move out. I asked a couple, I said, why do you expect your children to become adults when you adults cannot become adults? Like, if the 2 of you cannot work out your differences, why are you expecting your 7-year-old to understand that mom and dad cannot live together? That's too much pressure on a child that the kids will understand we couldn't be together. I understand where you came from, but do we even realize the demands that we're putting on a kid, 7-year-old, to understand that dad and mom do not love each other, or dad and mom don't want each other, or dad and mom fought and they cannot agree. This kid, they will reconcile with their fellow kids. And so their understanding is like, even if you have issues, you can always come together. Now you want them at 7 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years to understand a separation and the divorce. Yet the 2 of you who are adults cannot do that for them. You want this kid to do for you what you cannot do for them. So sometimes walking out may look good, But then some reason why some people will stay is, okay, you will leave person A. When you go to person B, is there a guarantee that when you start, you will not face these challenges again? So that's why some people stay. It may not be the best reason to, but they're just weighing their options and trying to be realistic, and they're like, okay, well, so I'll go and start this process again. And you know, it is said that once you've walked out the first time, the chances of walking out the second time and the third time are higher. They're always very high. So you're going in and you will literally start afresh. Cutie, at this point, if 10 years down the line, if you were married right now, then 10 years down the line you walk out, how old will you be? So whom will you most generally meet at that particular point? Some of these things are unpalatable, but they are truth. Whom will you meet? You'll either meet somebody who is either divorced or widowed. So this person is also coming in with a certain template. They have related with somebody, they have faced some kind of loss, they also have some level of grief, they also have some hang-ups from a particular relationship. So when you're coming in, the work is even harder. And that's why some people will say, look, let me stay. So it may not look like it's very valid, but they will feel like, let me stay on because I might as well still be single on the other side. So let me tell myself then I have the motivation of raising my children in this particular space. So I don't think there is a one size fits all. Everybody has to make decisions based on very specific circumstances. But I do believe that there are healthy relationships that people have out there. There are a lot of people who are having healthy relationships. They will have issues, they work around them. They will understand the different stages they're in. There are people who started very badly and then they ended up so well. I was once hosting a certain couple at some point on a certain platform, and they said they just started with war. And the couple is still together up until now. Their first 2 to 3 years were crazy. Then they found their balance. Some people start so well, and then it doesn't end
so badly.
It doesn't end so well. What I think that we judge as happiness in other people are the areas of deficiency in our lives. So if I see Ken do something for his wife, what people are wowed by is what they desire. It's what they lack. So we are the ones who actually are saying they are so happy. They sometimes are just doing their own stuff. They're all doing their own life. And it is you who feeling that's so happy because this person has been taken on holiday and you wish somebody would take you for holidays. This person has been given so much cash, you wish somebody would do that. That represents happiness to you. Maybe to them, that's just a norm. So whether people stay because they're happy or not, I think I really give it to people who stay because they know it is also a responsibility. They showed up at a construction site and they keep on constructing.
And you know, we were actually talking with my pals about what you've just said. Like, sometimes you stay because you're like, okay, where will I start with someone else? I'm like, I'm not even ready to start asking someone about what they like to do, what the investments are. Like, you really don't want to start that conversation. So you're like, let me just stay in this relationship, work on it, build on it. We actually had that conversation. So you've brought a very important aspect. And Ken, CJ has also brought another important aspect. There are those people that when they start, sometimes they start on the wrong foot. You remember, you always say that tunanzaga on the wrong. We start wrong in these relationships. And people really evolve in relationships. So he was talking about maybe I'm going through, maybe it's a funeral, maybe I'm going through a sad phase of my life and I'm doing other things. But who's willing to stay in that relationship and actually work on it, the intentionality? Who's willing to stay up, okay, and be like, wacha ningoje Cutie malizane na maissues zake? You know, we rarely do that actually. At the end of the day, we rarely do that unless venye Bobby alikuwa anasema you really, really love someone and you really want for it to work. So maybe you can talk about that evolving into a relationship, growing into a relationship, growing in love and all that.
Okay.
And maybe you'd want to comment on anything.
Yes. CJ has brought in very important aspects, because for me there are 4 things that are very important for a relationship to be healthy. 2 of them are biblical. Love and respect. Yes. There must be there. There's something that brings you together. I've always said that men are visual, women are audio. Men will see, they are attracted to. And once a man is attracted to a woman, they will see beyond the beauty. And so it's very important for people to know beyond the beauty, there must be some brains somewhere. You can reason together because you cannot eat beauty or through. Even beauty pageants, you will see people being questioned. So beyond what we can see, what is behind? And you know, there is a saying out here that where there is beauty and there are no brains, it's the private parts that suffer. Love is a major ingredient. Who are supposed to love? Men should love women. Actually, women don't know how to be loved. Men don't know how to be loved. They only know how to love. The second ingredient and the most important one is respect. There must be respect. And now, there is a problem, especially in some generations. I won't say this generation because sometimes I think we are over-glorifying this generation or punishing them too much. Respect is something that is earned, not given. Who is supposed to earn your respect is when I take myself in a respectful manner, I teach people how to respect me. If I don't respect myself, nobody will learn how to respect me. Respect is reciprocated. And a man cannot sit there and tell the woman, you need to respect me, yet themselves, they don't respect themselves. When you decide to get into a relationship, you must also respect the other person, that they have given themselves and they have given their all to you. So you cannot also sit and start behaving like somebody now who is not in a relationship. You know what is causing so many chaos in this era and age is I am in a relationship that I am also still looking. How many married men out here have MBAs and they are not scholarly? Married but available. Yeah? You're married, but you still want to avail yourself out there. You're busy competing with the single people. Some 2 weeks ago, I was sitting with some men and I was asking them, if at my age, I start competing with my son to get her age mates to date, and I am still here talking about my son needs to get married, he will get married to who when I am dating both his mother and his girlfriend?
Wow.
Respect must be there. The third one to me is about maturity. Relationships thrive where maturity exists. We are seeing people very mature here, throwing tantrums. I don't know, did you see a video that was trending yesterday of a lady who was trying to beat up a man? And the man was holding the lady and controlling her, never beat, yeah? But I also ask myself, how many of us are mature enough, one, to admit when you're wrong, secondly, to create an environment of reconciliation, and thirdly, to be held accountable and hold the other person accountable. You know, in relationships, we also must talk about the irreducible minimums that we must be able to survive. Like say, for instance, if you sit together and agree, just because we are not brothers and sisters, we are going to get into a conflict, let it never escalate to the second day before we sit down and discuss. Of course, biblically we are told, never let the sun set if you're angry and you have not resolved the anger. But with our busy schedules, maybe tutakosana asubuhi, we have not spoken during the day, na ukifika tu kwa mlango ya nyumba ukumbuke tulikuwa tumekosana, so uingie na attitude kia watu wamekosana. Maturity now steps in. I believe so many of our relationships are not working because we have chosen to be immature. The day we will decide to be mature is the day relationships will work. Now, who is supposed to be mature? Relationships are not a 50 and 50 that we bring together and become 100. Relationship is about my 100% maturity. Now, what CJ was talking about earlier is, yes, we come maybe, some of us enter into relationships with our immaturities. Yeah? Utoto mwingi, you know, ukisikia mtu akikwambia wacha utoto, some of us take like it's a joke. It's such a bad joke that hata watoto wenyewe wanakuambia dadi uko na kautoto, you know. I have a client who once came to my office and told me that the son in Form 3 is the one who was, they sat down with the wife and asked the children, munatuonanga aje mimi na mama yenu? And the son told the father, but dadi unakuanga na utoto. And you know, I had to ask the man.
The fun guy.
No, he's not a fun guy. See yule utoto funny, by the way. Take it as if it's funny until they treat you like you're a joke. Yeah? Ni utoto. You know, tantrums. I don't know what makes people want to throw tantrums in relationships. Just the two of you in a bedroom, but you want to involve other people who are not in your bedroom, in the sitting room. Afadhali, you're confined into your 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom house until now you decide to include the entire apartment. Everybody must know when you're in conflict, throwing tantrums, soja akikuongelesha, why usiniletee? You want to break the car, break the house, break everything. You know that's a sign of immaturity. And number 4 to me is about trust. Do we trust each other? Do we trust each other to an extent that if trust is broken, before you go out there and discuss, I have always held to the thought that in marriage 3 is a crowd. How many of our marriages are overcrowded? How many of us decide to start discussing our relationship issues with irrelevant people? I hear us saying that when I sit down with my boys to discuss about my marriage, have I even exhausted discussion with my wife before I start bringing a third party? It's okay to share lessons, but you cannot also discuss. You know, if today we decide, it reminds me, CJ still owes us breakfast, we decide to go and discuss our relationships.
You're
and
never
then,
here, Full House. Oh, coming on road.
and then I start discussing my wife with the 3 of you. You've never met her. You don't know her. Maybe the best you know is about the pictures you see on social media when I post her. The next time, if we now decide to bring our partners, I hope we get there, we get someone. We decide to bring our partners for an outing. What will you start looking at, Shiro? Angalie na venye anatesanga ule boy. You know, we end up hating people because of what we listen.
Yeah.
So before you go out there and discuss, trust your environment, that this is the environment, and be friends before you become lovers. Because friendship is that bond that will never be broken. If you're not married to your friend, if you're not dating your friend, you will never be lovers. You will have a union of maybe conformity because you're conforming to everybody is in a relationship except me. You will have a union of convenience. Yeah, this is the only person I spend most of the time with, so let me start dating Bobby because conveniently we are together maybe in the workplace, or maybe conveniently we use the same matatu going to work and back. Convenience or benefits. You know, relationships of benefits is what is in this town, especially Kanairo.
You're very right.
By the way, the relationships that came together in June, July, they were supposed to end in July, but the weather is playing itself. So it has been extended because of the weather. When you come together because it's winter, what will happen to you when summer comes? That's a benefit of winter. So for me, it must start with friendship for it to be sustained. So that even when we are in conflict, I will not look at you, QT, and say, who is this? I will still remember at the back of my mind, this is my friend. And with a friend, and I like how, Bobby, you were putting it, that if we can be able to sit down and understand our friends and try to reason why my friend is not getting in touch, then I can also equally say, I trust my friend who is my partner. And I don't want to assume just because they are not receiving my call, they are out there doing some things. Why? Sometimes we judge people too harshly. You don't know what has happened along the way. I don't know. I have just dropped my wife to work. I don't know the situation she has found. She works in a hospital. Peradventure, maybe something has happened and it's an emergency and she cannot answer the call. And now I will start frantically, ni nani najua anafanya kazi Lions? Oh, have you seen? and we become paranoid. And you know, paranoia is not good. Some of our relationships are going to end and die because we do not trust each other. And the moment you choose to be immature, that relationship will die. So can we work harder? If you want a mature relationship, go and take your immaturity to the relationship, and the other person you up. And when you come together and immaturity sets in, go for mentors.
Umetoa mapoints zingine.
Kidogo nimalizie na hii. How many of us have a mentor that you can go to? People who have survived what CJ was talking about, the cycle. It's not all rosy. You know, we always talk about Valentine's Day. How many of us have actually sat down and read the story of what St. Valentine was teaching the young people? St. Valentine actually told the young people, don't get married because you do not have the power and the maturity to sustain relationships. But when you're ready, get there because you know you will resolve. So get mentors. And your mentor is not somebody who was in Form 4 when you were in Form 3. They are only 1 year ahead. And probably kama ulisoma miaka yetu tulikuwa tunarudia shule, there is a likelihood, unajua sisi tulisoma ukiambiwa jiguze hapa. I have never understood what kujiguza masikio. And get somebody who has been there. Get somebody who is mature enough, not because themselves, they have not been in a conflict, but they have been in conflicts and they have learned how to resolve those conflicts.
Kwanza hapo kwa maturity, Ken, very very important. Umetoa points, lakini nimeona Kenya umefanyia Bobby, mwambie hope tutafika hapo kwa kukuja na partners wetu kwa lunch. So Bobby,
no, guys,
kazi kwako. But
kienda breakfast ni mimi kwa tu solo.
But tukienda kumalizia juu ya time, maybe Bobby you can talk about genuinely utazaje ku differentiate between genuine happiness na hiyo yenye amesema temporary. Ile yenye I'm here because of summer, I'm here because it's July and it's cold, it's winter. Ama ni benefits tu niko hapa na get. How are you able to differentiate that when you're in a relationship or when you're getting into a relationship? Rajambia huyu nikimalizana naye tu na move on vitu kama hizo. But how are you able to differentiate kama mtu ako hapo juu yako, like for real, genuinely, ama ako hapo tu kukuuse?
Actually, something time inaisha, but I wanted to ask CJ and Ken. You know, when you're before I answer, you're in a safe, healthy relationship, but your partner is going through stuff, maybe mental illnesses or the grief or loss or all these things, and you know they love you and they care about you, but they're not able to show up that way for you in this season. But it doesn't mean that wewe how need love, ama we how need understanding, na how need kukua treated well as well. So as the person who's a partner to someone who's going through stuff, how do you still stay? The relationship is healthy. How do you still stay? Fikirieni hiyo labda. Haya, so now to answer you, Cutie. How do you tell the difference between, you know, a situation where maybe you're being used and it's not genuine, and a situation where you genuinely know this person loves me? And this will come back to the message I'm always preaching consistently, because it matters. You have to love yourself. You really have to do the personal work, the intentional individual work of making sure you know what love looks like for yourself. If love looks like consistent communication, gifting, spending time, being kind to yourself, then when you meet people who are offering this and being able to love you in the ways that you want to be loved, you're so able to see it, because nobody can fake consistent communication for 20 years. When you don't like someone, you start, unaanza kuboeka. Ama ati, nobody can use their money on you if they don't like you ati gifting. Siku like na niende kufikiria ati thoughtfulness. I'm thinking, Cutie needed these trainers, let me buy them for her. Ngumu sana. I'm not saying there's not people who do that. There's people who actually sit and plan and pretend and fake. But when you've been doing the internal work of making sure that you know what a template of love looks like for you, also you can just feel. If you're very present and intentional, you can sit here and know, CJ doesn't like me, Cutie likes me sometimes, Ken is the one who loves me. Just by sitting and watching the presence and the energy in the room, that alone. But you see, you can't get there if you're consistently looking for love externally, if you're waiting for other people to show you what love means to you, if you're comparing yourself to social media, this one has a car, this one was bought for CG trips, where if that's what you're looking for, you're never going to be able to tell what it looks like for you on a very personal level. But when you're doing the work, I'm finding that there's someone I was in conflict with, someone who truly, truly loves me. And not because, actually, they've never told me they love me, but I can tell, I can feel from the way they even just look at me, from the way they speak to me, from the grace and understanding and peace they bring into my life. I can tell the difference between huyu ananilike na huyu anilike. Na tulikuwa na conflict kidogo. And even in the conflict, you can tell how they show up. They show up in a bid to fix, to mend, to repair. They want to give you their time and love and intention, and they just show you. Kumbuka nimesema, uwezi ona hii stuff kama wewe mwenyewe ujui inakaje. Tunasemanga hapa mara mingi. Hata before uitishe vitu, uitishe sijui wapi, utajuaje value kama haujaingia hiyo space, kama hujaiji providea for yourself. And that matters a lot. And someone who loves you truly wants the best for you always. Even if the best for you means breaking up, if that's what it means enyewe tuachane juu naona uko unhappy. That's the decision that they will come to together, but with love and kindness and consideration and intentionality. So what I'd say, I would say, I'd place emphasis on, if you want your relationship to work, venye tu Ken alianza hii conversation ikianza, if you want your relationship to work out in the best way, make sure unajijenga kwanza. We jijenge. Na kujijenga imaanishi uwezi pendwa ama kupendana. Kujijenga haimaanishi ukae solo na single useme I'm working on myself. Actually, I always tell people the best way for you to learn how to be in a relationship is by being in a relationship, because that's when you get triggered. That's when your insecurities, your trust issues, the beliefs you have, the questions you've had in your mind, what you think communication looks like. Maybe you like being texted all day, but now you're with someone who loves you and they can only text you twice a day. Now you see, you have to start weighing, like, does he love me, or is he just saying he loves me? Then you realize texts don't even mean that's a measure of love, because maybe this person is showing up in other ways more, and maybe they know how to show up better in other ways. So it's a lot of balance of getting to know yourself really, really well and creating a life for yourself where you're able to say, okay, this is what love looks like. And then now when you're getting to your partner, you're able to enjoy, correct, fix, mend, negotiate. You know, you can say, you text me just twice, can we please text 5 times? And then they say, I don't like texting. Can I just call you once? Then you're like, okay, fine. That's good negotiation. But you see, you can't get there if you're still angry, you're still stuck up on, you know, the traumas that you've been through. There's no trust, you don't have a healthy life on your own. I'd push for people to get to know themselves so well, and to love themselves more than anything else, because this will help you choose yourself even in the event that you're not feeling very loved by the other person, and it informs the decisions that you make in your relationship. So for you to be able to know that the other person is genuine and is not faking a relationship, the only way, I think, is to have your own life going on. And then this person, you will consistently see them come in as complementary. You're not putting your whole eggs in the basket, like QT ni wangu na ni wangu, alafu ile siku hakutext, uko ready kufight, uko ready kurusha mambo zake, sijui hizo vitu Ken amesema za immaturity. But you're able to be like, okay, me, hata siku notice hukuni text, because my day was full. I mean, I missed you, but can we talk about, you know, why we weren't communicating during the day? So love yourself more than anything, and then create this template of love for yourself. Negotiations are allowed, but please have your own standards and boundaries, because how you know that person is right for you, they will come. They will not try to go against your standards and boundaries. In fact, they will help you uphold them even higher, because they're coming to add more into your life. You will just feel it. You will tell the difference between someone who loves you and someone who doesn't love you very easily. And let me just finish by saying, even if you're in a healthy relationship, not necessarily happy all the time, but like healthy, even when you guys are in conflict or something is happening, even when you're unhappy, you're fighting, gonna beef crazy, you still know that person loves you. I like to compare these relationships to the relationship I have with my brother. We fight a lot, but there is no instance where I will ever you can't come to me and say, Chris anakuchukia ama Chris alisema. I can't believe you because I know how our relationship is and the work we've put in to being not just siblings but also, you know, friends. So chukweni nuggets za kila kitu kila mtu amesema hapa. CJ Ken, your friendship, maturity, respect, love, getting to know yourself really well and loving yourself beyond anything inachangia sana to not just the relationships that you foster, but also the quality of life that you have in the end.
Thank you, Bobby. Okay, but CJ, I'll make it up to you next week. I promise.
I'm not in next week, but
I promise I'll make it up to you next week. And I love you, CJ. Big up, Mr. and Josh. Thank you so much for watching. Guys, pick everything that we've said in this conversation. Jiangalie we mwenyewe. Jua kenye unataka kwa hii life. That's what we always say. I'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Thank you for watching and for your feedback always.